Yeah. The American people look at CIA operations through a lens of morals and ethics. What you're talking about is much more of what CIA thinks about, which is looking at operations through a level of effectiveness and outcomes. Effectiveness and outcomes stand separate from morals and ethics.
Yeah.
So MKUltra, our enemies were testing psychedelics. Our enemies were testing the ability for people to astro project.
Yeah, remote viewing.
Oh my gosh, all sorts of crazy shit. And they had a long list of convicts in jail who had no rights.
Yep.
Even by their own laws. So MKUltra was just our answer to a threat. Because all of our arguments about MKUltra would be completely different if the Russians found a way to attack us using remote viewing first.
Right.
If they would have actually found a way to take a convict, turn him into a remote viewer so he could astro project his violent ass to the United States and start killing people in New York City, then all of a sudden Americans would be like, well, why aren't we funding MKUltra? Why aren't we finding a way to get our prisoners to attack Moscow? Right? But that's the lens of history.
Right.
Because the truth is, no matter how principled somebody wants to say they are, they understand that ethics are defined by someone else, right? The code of ethics for you as a doctor, the code of ethics for you as a teacher, the code of ethics for you as a lawyer. Your ethics are defined by someone else. Your morals are what you personally commit to, but your morals that you commit to change based off of the situation that you're in. If you're fucking hungry and you're broke and your kids are hungry and nobody's eaten in a day, you're going to steal some food. Even though when you've got a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, and even if you're just eating macaroni and cheese, you're going to buy your food.
Right. Desperate people do desperate things.
And desperate, I mean, it doesn't take much to become desperate, right? It doesn't take much to feel desperation, even if you don't have true desperation. So to your point, pre-CIA could have been highly effective, could have had fantastic outcomes. But now the lens of history, we sit here today and we're like, oh, it was so unethical. It was immoral what we did to those terrorists in Guantanamo Bay. Right? Well, fucking remember how we felt on September,
12th.
2001. Remember how we felt then. Remember what it was like to turn on your TV and watch human beings jump from burning buildings.
Right.
Was our morality a little bit different then?
Yeah. And I think the American public likes to hold government institutions like different standards than they kind of hold themselves
over time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So now what's okay in 1 year is different is not okay in the next year.
Right. Exactly. But I really do try to look at these things as like ROI, where I'm like, yeah, if it's a couple $1,000s to see if you can, remote view while trip on an LSD.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Like,
could you imagine a battalion of American troops? Could you imagine a contingent of Navy SEALs sitting in a fucking Marriott, sleeping under drug-induced sleep, astral projecting, because it works, right? If it works, into some remote fucking Burmese jungle, you could use those soldiers until they were 95 years old.
Right.
So the ROI is significant. This is why Hitler was looking for the ancient religious artifacts, because he was like, if they have the power, right? If the Ark of the Covenant could really be opened and like some power come out and nuke everybody. Like he wanted to be the first one to have that. It's an ROI question.
Yeah.
You're thinking exactly like the government thinks. You're thinking exactly like a senior echelon leader should think. Just like a CEO should think.
Right. Yeah. Just like throw some shit at the wall, see if it works.
Especially if it's low cost but high yield or high outcome, who wouldn't do it?
Yeah.
So fresh on Freedom.